How's it going, everyone? It is Friday, May 31st. Let's get into the picks from the prior video. I gave Kava long and I gave PanW short, both as day trades. I also mentioned that if the market does close below the prior day low, then we could have a swing for PanW. So those were some of the picks that I gave. Let's take a look at Kava first. So here's the D1 setup for Kava. As you remember, we have the breakout or post earnings move 2 days ago, and then we had some continuation on the 30th. There was still lots of volume, lots of relative strength, lots of strong price action. So there was an opportunity to make money on Kava. So yesterday, or let's look at the SPY M5 as a backdrop over here. Yesterday, market is moving down. Kava is holding all of the gains. So had a small gap down, filled in the gap pretty much immediately, made its new high of the day. And while the market was moving lower, it was grinding up higher and hugging its high of the day. As soon as the market started to take off, so did Kava. And you had a couple of entry points. Now, when I came out with the video, I think it was past the first entry point, which was here at 11:05. The market had a bullish engulfing candle, decent volume on that candle as well, and we had the 1OP bullish cross. We're also near our support level. Second point, you break through this area here, you got another leg up at the 110 bar. So market goes at 110, testing its resistance over here. So market wise, this isn't a great entry point. Stock wise, it starts to take off. So you have another entry point over here. And in terms of exiting, it's up to discretionary. If you like to sell into strength, selling into these long green bars is good places to take profits. If you're a little bit more patient, you can wait till you see a red bar or the trend stall. And if you want to wait for that double top, you can wait for that double top over here and get out of the trade. So a couple entry points here on Kava. I took a decent entry here at around 92.60, and I got out for about 50 or 60 cents profit over here. I had to step away for a meeting, so didn't have the best exit that I wanted to. But I would have had an order out for at least $1, $1.50 you can get on these moves. And Kava was a very, very nice trade. Probably one of the better longs you could have taken yesterday, given the market backdrop. So Kava was a nice win. Couple of entry points on that guy and a couple of ways to exit. Just make sure you have a game plan before you take your trades. Next one, PanW short. So let's look at the D1 here. Yesterday it had broken through its bullish channel through the 200-day SMA. A little bit of horizontal resistance here, but pretty much had a straight shot to the SMA 50. So when the video came out, it had a nice steady grind at the low of the day. Market then rallied from 11:05 to about 140, 145. And then here is Kava, or sorry, not Kava, PanW from 11:05 to 140. Doesn't really move up too much. This is a pretty weak cycle. Lots of selling pressure over here. As soon as the market gives away the gains, Kava breaks through its low of the day. So couple entry points here as well. I mentioned if you break the low of the day here, so we get this tiny green bar, and then we confirm it on the 255 candle. You can ride that from 295 all the way down to the SMA here, so around 291 or 291.50, wherever that SMA was. Yeah, 291.50. So that's a nice $4 profit on that move. And if you did take it earlier in the day, you had to get in probably around 1040. We still had some downside of the move. The pullback will not have you take a lot of heat, and then you can add to the position as it starts to break down through this downward sloping trend line through the bottom of this horizontal compression channel right here. So got a little bit of compression, broke through here, broke through the low of the day, Lots of volume as well coming in on that move, in contrast to the low volume, choppy, weak pullback that happened earlier in the day. This is a sign of selling pressure because this stock is not rallying and actually didn't even make it past its VWAP. So very, very nice pick on PanW. Still looks pretty decent today, although it's already made a pretty big move. You can see it has some room to this low plus balance trend line, as well as this 200-day SMA. So maybe not as great today, but still pretty decent. So PanW, very, very nice win. Okay, let's take a look at what the market is doing today. With a small gap up, we tested this level, and there's lots of tiny little candles coming in play here, but essentially, here is the resistance level at this point, and test it, and then we break down through, we make a new low of the day, and we have confirmed this move down lower from the top of this horizontal compression range. We have a straight shot down to the 50 SMA, about $4 of room at this point. So fundamentally, we're still a 1 bullish, and technically we're still a 1 bullish, but short term, we are a -2 bearish is what I'd say. This is some very strong price action here. We're getting a decently tall bounce right now. I'm going to get into this market price action in a second, but what's really been dragging down the market is tech. If we look at our sector analyses here, tech has been very, very weak. The weakest sector this day, this weakest sector this month, and a lot of it has to do with these software infrastructures. If I look at the weakest sectors for this week, software application, like these software apps, their software stocks have been plummeting. And part of that does include some of these security stocks as well. I think PanW, is a network security. So if I look at my own lists here and I go to cyber security, lots of weakness in these cyber security stocks. DDOG very weak today, ZS, Okta, PanW, Crowd, CRM. Also, if I go to software over here, CRM very, very weak yesterday from earnings. So lots of weakness in this software industry. Now, that's the first thing. Tech is bringing down this market. But a lot of other sectors actually there were some positive outflows in the beginning of the day. Now, not so much. Energy is still decently strong here. Healthcare, real estate, some defensive sectors are up. Utilities are up a little bit. So a little bit of risk off mode right now. And you're seeing the weakness in cyclical, tech, comms, some of the stronger sectors, the more risk on sectors. If you take a look at the mega cap tech as well, there's a lot of weakness in mega cap tech today. In fact, almost all the stocks are very, very weak. Microsoft and Amazon are leading the charge down. Huge breakdowns. I mean, this is a pretty big breakdown in Microsoft. Not really bouncing with the market here. This could be a very nice short pick. Amazon as well, pretty big breakdown. Has to clear its 100-day SMA, so it's finding a little bit of support. But a lot of weakness in mega cap tech, so that's also kind of bringing the market down. Now, what happened today if we zoom in a little bit here? So, like I mentioned before, on a longer term basis, we had this horizontal compression, broke down through here, filled in the gap from the CPI, and now we are moving down through that gap. Gap up, test this resistance here, 525-ish, smack down, and we make a new low of the day in the first 25 minutes. Very, very bearish. This 1OP bearish cross is pending, and we have a very excellent opportunity to make a lot of money on a day like this. So strong trend strength here. We get this bullish cross, but it's likely to be a weak bull cycle or even a divergent bear cycle. So it ends up being a bearish divergence. And then we get this next cross here at 11:30 that sends us down through the low of the day over here. And we get this nice bullish hammer on heavy volume at 12:20. Now, since then, the market has been rallying. This is pretty organized price action, much more organized than I expected. So we're waiting for this 1-up bearish cross because we know that sellers are going to take one more shot later in the day. These guys aren't just going to go away. We probably hit a pocket of buyers or suppliers coming in over here, and we're going to see where the fighting is going to happen. This move is going to stall out, and we're watching for this move to stall out. So for the day here, I was pretty bearish, honestly, -2, -3 bearish very early in the day. Pretty much as bearish as you can get here. Is a very strong setup. After seeing this move over here, I'm a little bit less bearish, maybe a -2 or a -1, I would say, because I really didn't expect this move to get a ton of traction. I wanted to see sellers pound at it more and more and more. The fact that they're not, and they're letting it actually retrace pretty far, tells you that buyers have pretty strong control. So in terms of the basics of reading this move, you look at first the duration. So how long is this bounce? How tall is this bounce? And how organized is this bounce? Right, this is a fast move, covered a lot of ground, so had a lot of velocity, very organized, little green candles, not a lot of wicks and tails, lots of long red candles. Here, we had some buying and selling. This was actually the up cycle. If you match it with the 1-up cycle, this is really the up cycle. And in the up cycle, we actually drifted, we compressed right around here, and then we actually broke through and started to drift down. So this move was also very strong, and then it looks like we hit maybe some sort of selling climax, perhaps. That's the only reason I could possibly think where we get some sort of reversal. I'm not going to say reversal, but a very tall pullback like this. And like we said, because this is organized, decent volume here, tall, it's lasted a good amount of time as well. 12:20 lasted about an hour. So all those are the clues that, hey, this trend is not as strong as it once was, could be closer to ending. But we're still going to look at shorts, and we're still going to look at some potential longs. So let's look at a couple of picks on the short side here. So first one that I like quite a bit was Square. Broke through its 200 SMA over here, weak trending bearish chart. Here's the channel. The only concern is that there's maybe perhaps a little bit of support at this low at about 62. About 62 bucks, 62.07, 61.88. So that's sort of the one, maybe not a ton of room I see on Snow, but very weak, and it's getting pulled up a little bit by the market over here, but otherwise it's looking pretty nice. So what I'm going to do is create an LRSI alert. When that triggers, we can that's a great entry point on Snow, or sorry, not in Snow, on SQ. I think this is really nice as a swing. Marvel has a great breakdown today. Could be pretty good for day trading, but it looks like it's pretty dead right now. So if it can break through the low of the day, or if it can get a nice LRSI cross, maybe be interested, but I feel like it's exhausted a whole ton of its move at this moment. ACN, I like quite a bit as well. It's getting pulled up by the market here, but still bounced much later than the market. So 12:45 it bounced. Here's the market at 12:45, and it's not really making a ton of movement except in these last couple of 1 or 2 bars. So ACN, very nice action today, and very weak bearish chart on the D1. This may be my swing pick. I really like ACN. The only thing that I am not crazy about is that it is pretty far from resistance over here, so I just don't feel that the risk reward is that great in terms of the structure of the trade. I would have liked to have entered this stock maybe, you know, here or here. No, I'm not saying that it's still going to go down. It still can go down, but it may be closer to the end of the move than the beginning of the move. Another one that I liked earlier, but now not so much, was Dash. So let's bring up Dash. So I loved the breakout earlier in the morning, but it did not fall down in this last leg of the market, and now it's rallying back up all the way through VWAP here. So Dash, again, promising, but that's why you want to wait for this D1 candle to finish or get close to finishing on these swings, because you want to see if the relative strength continues or not. The clue that I noticed with Dash is that we broke down here, but this volume wasn't actually that strong or that heavy. The real heavy volume and the highest volume candle actually came here at the very end of the move. So that is very interesting, because it tells me that this move was actually pretty fluffy. A lot of long candles, but kind of just following the market over here. And we got a lot of volume at the very end of the move as it was finding support, and there was a lot of buyers coming up over here. So that's a good example of a nice little fake out. So if I had to give a pick as a swing, here's what I would do. I'd probably, it's either between ACN or Square. ACN maybe an overnight potentially, but I like Square. Yeah, I like Square a little bit better for the sole reason that the move is just fresh. And I'm closer to support. I have a far better risk reward. And look, we could hit this point here and we could reject off of it. But if we do clear it, then that's a nice opportunity to add to this trade. So I do like Square here. It'll probably be, yeah, based on everything I've seen, this will probably be my short pick of the day, given the fact that it has been resisting the market the most during this pullback. And we have a pretty favorable structure on our chart. So Square short is going to be the last, one of the last picks of May. Square, oops, SQ short. I think there's a full ATR move in this. The move is pretty fresh on SPY as well, so yeah, it's pretty fresh on SPY as well. So yeah, I think there's potential for, I would expect SPY to test the 50 SMA, and I would expect Square to break through these levels on this sort of market weakness. The other clue, by the way, too, is after this May 22nd candle, so actually May 22nd was over here, so the candle earlier was drifting down lower while the market was kind of waffling around here. So really started to break down in this last chunk of the market rally. All right, so Snow is our short pick. What's going to be our long pick? So few picks that I love. First is T. Excellent strength today. I mean, just this is an absolutely beautiful chart. Strong flat open, grinded up higher, compressed the entire time that the market was moving down. Market finds some support. T's looked like it's still kind of battling some resistance here, but it manages to break through. It's not a huge mover, but very low IV and excellent breakout. GPS is another excellent one today. I think this is a post earnings move. Looks like it hit this high at 28. Yeah, looks like it hit that high here, got temporarily paused, but gap up, tested the bid, came back up and broke through this high of the day very, very quickly. Compressed while the market was going down, and then as soon as this selling pressure started to wane, even just a little bit, this stock, look at this, selling pressure started to wane here, started to weaken. The trend weakened just from a 3 to maybe a -3 to maybe a -2, took off, absolutely took off. And now it's hit a little bit of resistance and it's pulling back. But on any sort of trend days, these earning stocks with a trend, I mean, these stocks are truly ignorant of the market. They have so much volume, so much institutional order flow that they just don't care. So for a long pick, I mean, what I'd have to see really is for the market to have a double top and then finish as a bullish hammer, coming very close to the open or even coming close to this gap here at 522. So that's what I need to see in order to get even to really consider a long pick. So if that scenario unfolds, I would go with something like T, or even, I mean, if I look at some strong stocks here, here's a couple of nice picks today. I mentioned T, Suncor, NEE, holding the gains beautifully. Yeah, something like one of those stocks, right, that are just really compressing, holding all the gains today. That's going to be crucial. And let's also not forget the bigger picture for these shorts, where SPY is coming down and we're still in a bullish trend, right? So we do have maybe one short here, but at the same time, we're also keeping in mind that this trend could, when it's bought up, we want to be looking and getting ahead of the curve and looking for bullish put spreads and bull swing trades that we can enter in on this pullback. So that's the bigger picture here. I wouldn't get too crazy with any shorts. Find one really great short. I'm just going to probably pick Square short for today. That's going to be my pick. I'm not going to give any long picks. There's an opportunity to also trade with a little bit of size, given that the move is still fresh. So probably do Square short and ride it down until the trend stalls in the market or until we reach the 50 SMA. Or if Square has a really big move and gets very overextended. So we'll kind of cover the play-by-play in these couple of days. The swing trades are a little bit easier to monitor. But that is what I am planning to take. So Square short is the pick of the day. No day trade pick today. We're going to give a swing trade pick instead, because it has been a little while since we've given a swing trade pick. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we're going to take a look at how these stocks did on Monday. And I'll also see if I can get out the weekly trade review for the month out this weekend. I'll see if that's possible, but if not, then definitely next weekend we'll review all the trades that we took, all of the day trading setups, time spreads, things like that, and see how we did, see where we can improve.